programme containing fashion ideas you may find disturbing.
Let's go back to 1971. Thank you very much. Good evening. Yes, it's 1971. Cast yourselves back to 1971, where a pint of milk was 5p, a loaf of bread was 9.5p, a postage stamp was 3 pence. I remember that because I bought 12. I wanted to answer fan mail. I've still got 11 of them, actually. I don't know what happened to the one I lost. But anyway, in 1971, there were complaints about the British Olympic headstand champion. They said he'd got overweight. In 1971, Nicolette Milnes Walker returned from sailing the Atlantic in the nude. Daft name for a ship, isn't it, really? But anyway, she did. She sailed right the way across with no clothes on, and she came back to Southampton water for a very quiet reception, escorted by 42,000 ships, which were lying very low in the water. As always, I've got 3 guests tonight, and for 2 of them, well, it was a great time on the telly.
So this fella rode into Morecambe Bay. And now, you'll have to imagine this. Are you listening? She had a bereavement, she's crying. Are you all right? Look, now imagine this. You're not listening, just a minute. Now imagine this. Imagine. Colin Crompton sent you.
No criticism of the young women's whatever it is. It's splendid. Keeps you all out of those tedious ballrooms. It satisfies the current craze for young women everywhere to be something other than frivolous and decorative. And, of course, it acts as a marvellous moral purgative. But that's all it achieves, and it's foolish to pretend otherwise.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Bowen and Simon Williams. What was the joke, though? What were you trying to say?
I forget the joke. There's no joke.
It's quite obvious you had, yeah.
It's gone. I mean, the lady had completely gone. Mary, we remember her name. She's still alive. And she's still laughing. And, hilarious. We used to plant her in the audience every week to set everybody else off because some of us weren't very good. That's absolutely true.
Did you all get on? I mean, a load of comedians together. What was it like?
Yes, it was good. The way they used to do it, very briefly, they used to get 10 comedians at a time in an evening, and Johnny Hamp used to say, give us 10 minutes, clean material, and one after the other. So we got 100 minutes out of it. And we all had an idiot board, and you all put the taglines to the gags you were going to do that night. So it'd be Dr. Sweat, Dr. Curtains, Handbook, Dog, whatever, and you kept it to your chest, because if you were 9th on, you kept your board in case another comic saw it and did the gag. And one night, Bernard Manning was compere, and under the camera was George Roper's idiot board. And Bernard said, good evening then, gentlemen, welcome. And he saw George's board with all the gags on, and he knew all the gags. And Bernard said, right, follow into the doctor. He said, have you got anything to make me sweat? The doctor said, yes, I'll sign you off. And he did all George's gags, and George was standing there, just went white. And then I remember Bernard said, right, here we go, if he's got anything left, George Roper. That was true. Bernard. Yeah.
Now, Simon, come on, it's own-up time. How much training went into that very posh voice there?
Well, he's the kind of person who actually might have gone on to be the father of Theresa Gorman, looking at that, really. I mean, it's dreadful.
Happy memories, upstairs, downstairs?
Very happy memories. Actually, a similar occurrence befell me during... We had an episode when I was standing for Parliament as a Conservative member of Parliament, and I'd got a long electioneering speech to make, and I thought, this is easy. I'll write it down on the notes in big writing, and I can read it. I won't have to learn it. And I was wearing a bowler hat, and suddenly the director, just before we were about to shoot, said, I've got a great idea. It would look much more dismal if we shot this in the pouring rain. So they put the rain machine on, and it was fine, and they said action, and I looked down, and all the rain from my hat went down my notes like this, and the camera was running. I had to ad-lib a whole Conservative Party kind of election speech.
Something like they do now.
Well, we've got an interesting situation, because I'm sure this gentleman was, well, in bed by the time the comedians and upstairs, downstairs came on. Comedian Tim Vine joins us this week. And before he says a word, we have a picture of him in 1971. And we ask the question, were your feet really that big?
They were, yeah. It's quite sad, really, isn't it, to have feet that size as a 4-year-old, but I was very good at skiing.
Do you have any recollections of 71?
Yvonne Goolagong, I love that name, and she won Wimbledon in 1971. I actually found out later how she got that name. Apparently, during her christening, someone rang a doorbell. And she's just got a twin sister called It's Open. And then, of course, the bus lane was introduced in 1971. Do you know that?
No, didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Didn't catch on, you know, quite until 1973 when they invented the bus.
Now, while these two were busy working and you were busy contemplating buying a new pair of shoes or skis, there was a lot going on the telly. And, Jim, you're first to bat. Here's your clip with a stunning question. This will put you off your tee.
Well, about a month ago, he developed a rash, which he'd had over 12 months ago. The rash, when he had it 12 months more ago, we took him to the vet, and he told us it was a sort of a fungus, which we'd have to watch. He had treatment for about 2 months more, and the rash did clear up. Then, as I said, it reoccurred again about a month ago, and on being taken to the vets, we were informed that he was changing sex.
They realised he was changing sex when he went off his lassie and went for his pedigree chum. In 1971, the group Lobo had a hit with the song Me and You and a Dog Named...
It was Boo. Me and You and a Dog Named Boo.
Can you sing it?
Yes.
Would you sing it?
No.
So that set Jim up. What's Simon going to do with this? He's a bit of a fashion guru. So am I. I'm at the forefront of all new clothing trends. Hence, this is good to see.
Now, this brown leather-look coat comes at about £15, and it's from Quellrain. And underneath it, he's wearing what we were talking about a moment ago. A safari suit, also from Quellrain, costing around the £18 mark. Fashion travels in circles, of course, and the African safari jacket actually derives from the old Norfolk jacket worn by explorers in Victorian times. You could say it was taken to the Dark Continent by Dr. Livingstone, I presume. And now we're getting it back in adapted modern form. Incidentally, there are separate slacks at about £5, as you see. But as both men and women live increasingly similar lives, and as unisex is naturally reflected in fashion, I see no reason why short trousers shouldn't be worn by men in town in the not-too-distant future.
Thunderbirds, was it?
There are still people who think we make these things up. They're all genuine from 71. A fashion question. A kini was a highly fashionable item, Simon.
I think it's one down from a bikini. I think it's probably a topless attire for young ladies on the beach.
Yeah, it was a pair of knickers and it cost twice what a bikini costs. That's strange. Tim.
Yes?
You're going to have a meal with this. You're going to love it.
Excuse me, sir, how do you feel about women pinching men's bottoms in the street?
I regret to say it's never happened to me before.
Never? How do you feel about women picking men up in the streets? After all, you do it all the time.
Well, I don't actually, but well, I think it's still a good idea, yes.
Thank you very much.
That's interesting, that.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah, go on, what is it?
Go on, 71. Which Western country was the last one to give women the vote?
Which Western... Denmark?
No. No, I can offer it.
Sweden? I thought you offered it to me again, sorry.
It's the only country in the world that gave the vote to the cuckoo clock before women.
Yes,
yes, that's right. So I'm not giving a point. And in fact, the whole thing has a little point as we look at the scores. Tim's got none at all, but he's ahead in the humour stakes. Simon's got 2 and Jim's got 2. Chuck it around a bit, extra points flying everywhere. Tim, you could be desperate for this. The most watched TV show in 71.
The News.
No.
Was it the comedians?
Well, it wasn't the comedians, but this man was a comedian. No longer with us.
Morecambe and Wise.
No, thank you. Man.
Dick Emery.
Dick Emery.
No, oh dear, it was Benny Hill.
Yes, Benny Hill.
Benny Hill, yeah. Craze of the year was Clackers, and the top toy to buy was Space Hoppers. Counts with the peculiar antics of a generation. The Eurovision Song Contest was won by
Norway. Nil point.
Severine with Un Bonk, Un Arbre, Un Rue. Which is clearly something you do under a tree in the street. And, Jim, we are going to take a break.
Yes.
Ready to time down, guys.
24.5 pence Superfit one-size tights from Bellman's. 11 super shades in micro mesh. 4 in run resist, all in one size that fit most women beautifully, all at an incredible 24.5 pence from Bellman's. 50-inch hip only cost 5 pence more. Get up front with Superfit one-size tights from Bellman's.
Indestructible tights. They won't run, they won't ladder, and they won't tear in any way. So why do they sell them in packs of 6? Is an interesting Jim.
Yes.
Who was told to pull his socks up because he was missing training sessions?
Yes, that was a soccer player.
Yeah.
And it was one of the greatest we've ever seen. Georgie Best, I think.
He was. Skiving at the time.
Matt Busby.
Manchester United. Simon, I've got a commercial for you, slightly different sort. Comes under the heading of Make Yourself Look a Prat. Would you like to reduce your waist, abdomen, hips and thighs from 6 to 9 inches in just 3 days? Well, look no further than these fabulous new trim jeans. Mrs. Cynthia Bateman, shown here, has slipped into her trim jeans and has inflated them with the handy little pump. Trim jeans, the space-age slenderizer with results that are out of the world, pump provided. There you go. Sarah Ferguson uses them, but forgets to take them off before going out. In 71, Apollo 14 landed on the moon. The astronauts were walking around, but what sport did they play, Simon?
The quickest thing they could have done was to be playing cricket for England, but I think it must have been golf. I think.
It was, complete with the trim jeans on under their suits. It was golf, indeed.
I know the iron he used. It was a 6-iron, wasn't it?
How do you know it was a 6-iron?
Because I was revising on 1971 before I came here, and he said he hit it with a 6-iron.
You were revising?
I was 4. I mean,
You're absolutely right. It was a 6-iron.
Thank you.
Very good.
Well, you can have an extra point for that.
Thank you.
I'm bemused. And you get an advert as well.
This is it. The now designed for that shirt by Double Two. The latest new knitted. The greatest for color and style. That shirt is something else, and it's tapered to fit your body like skin. It's that shirt in Dacron cotton by Double Two International. Now on release.
I don't see walking around in such garish, eye-poking shirts as that. Oh, come on, look at Mr. Bowen. Can we have a close-up, please? He's got one of those shirts. Tim, I don't know whether you're any good on fashion. Whether you feel comfortable about this question?
I feel quite comfortable, yeah.
Good.
Well, cross your legs, then.
I can't do that.
Well, the question's got nothing to do with fashion. A well-known engineering company lost its shirt in 1971, so to speak. Colloquialisms, little phrase there.
What sort of engineering?
They made their name over the years in automotive engineering, but they have
Rolls-Royce.
Thank you.
And they used a 6-iron.
If we're losing you, it means it must be time for What on Earth? Because I'm not sure what he's talking about half the time. And Jim probably's got no idea what's going on here.
I'm on 3, 2, 1 here.
Listen to this chap and see if you can tell me what is he talking about.
This is a woggle. And the woggle comes about just where your Adam's apple is.
That's your woggle there.
That's the woggle, yes.
I see. But whereabouts is my woggle?
Your woggle, well, of course, your woggle is about there, which means that you're a lot higher to jump than I have.
He was, that was a Yorkshireman wearing a French beret, referring to the Boy Scouts woggle, which holds his neckerchief in place. I was privileged to open one of these woggle jumping fetes. And it goes on in Yorkshire, in the fairly upmarket areas in Yorkshire, and it's woggle jumping. And the woggle is the height of the Adam's apple, around the height of a pillar box. And that guy actually could clear a pillar box. And it was called woggle jumping. It went on in mid-Yorkshire.
True or false?
True. True.
It's to be able to leap over an object, a pillar box or whatever you have, the height of your woggle. By golly, I needed that.
You seem to know quite a bit about the Post. What do you call the international meeting of Scouts that happens every 4 years?
Well, it's a jamboree.
Yeah, jamboree, that'll do.
Lord Baden-Powell started it just after the...
Yeah. Simon, here's yours.
Yeah, OK, thank you.
A line-up of women who look like they haven't discovered trim jeans. They're waiting for a result, but not necessarily the obvious one. What on earth is going on there?
But this was the year that Margaret Thatcher abandoned free milk in schools as when she was Minister of Education. But I don't think it's to do with that. I think it's something to do with... they're all in the family way, aren't they? It must be the most beautiful woman expecting a baby competition or something like that.
That's interesting. At a time when we had Miss World, Miss Britain, Miss Chunky Chicken, it was obviously OK to hold Miss Up the Duff and Miss Bun in the Oven. And it clearly went down very well with the winner's husband.
Mr. Christopher Warnett, this makes you Father of the Year to be. How do you feel about that?
Some you win, some you lose.
Enamored with the subject. And in 1971, a number of companies were predicting that a certain item would become a big seller if housewives turned to convenience food in a massive way. What were they talking about? For an extra point, someone.
Tea bags.
Microwave.
Microwave, you're quite right. Tea bags. Tim.
Right.
What is this person talking about?
It was up for sale, so they thought they'd have it, although it proved to be not quite what they'd expected. Although it did fall down, it became a major attraction, and they were happy as a small slice of England that was theirs to keep.
Now, obviously, you would have noted that story when you were 4.
Is he trying to buy something?
No.
Is he talking about a product of some sort?
No.
Is he talking about a country?
No.
Sounds like...
Is it his family?
Is he talking about his family?
Yeah.
No.
Is it a film?
It's not a film.
Is it a play?
A play?
Book?
It's not. It's not. There's a song about it.
Song?
Is it something the Americans bought?
Yes.
London Bridge. They bought London Bridge.
I claim that. I gave it you.
You did.
You claim London Bridge, but the Americans have got it. OK.
I think they thought they bought Tower Bridge, didn't they?
Yeah, they thought they brought the wrong one.
Yeah.
You're quite right. You are right. The Americans bought London Bridge. They thought they were buying Tower Bridge. And I can give you an extra question as well. A major US tourist attraction opened in 1971.
Disney World.
Disney World, you're quite right. Very good. Yeah, you got that.
I think you're winning, Jim.
I don't know whether you remember this. In 1971, there was a major scandal when the News of the World alleged that people on Radio 1 were being paid cash to play records.
Yeah.
I went in on the Monday morning and asked for wages, I tell you. And the telephone link between Britain and China was re-established after 22 years. Seems that Churchill had left his phone off the hook in the bathroom. But who on earth are we talking about here? We've got the pictures, we've got 9 famous faces. And can I just remind you at this point, a mystery reader for our guests to try and work out who on earth is saying what. Jim, listen to this.
People complain one isn't with it, but honestly, that's the limit. The absolute limit.
Who's that in the middle?
Glenda Jackson, that
Glenda
Jackson.
Jackson.
It's not her. She never had it. It's Margaret Thatcher.
Could you elaborate? What do you mean she never had it?
She never was part of the, as it were, coming... It was Joe Bugner.
And you said Margaret Thatcher. You're working your way around the board here, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I'm just waiting for some reaction of any sort of...
Margaret Thatcher, you think?
Yes.
All right, I can offer it. So who's picking this one up?
Richard Burton.
Why?
Well, I didn't know you were going to ask me that. Well, it was a long time before he opened that chain of clothes shops, wasn't it? Richard shop.
It's Princess Anne.
It must be Princess Anne.
It's got to be Princess
Yes, Simon, we
one.
eventually get to you. Princess Anne, for an extra point, what was she talking about to say that?
Speaking about her clothes, one's clothes.
It was to do with clothes.
She was wearing them.
The item in
The item
particular...
of clothing was a kini.
No, it wasn't. It was hot pants. She was actually talking about hot pants at the time. Simon, here's yours.
Most of my fans are women. What it is, I think, is that I may look like a Bedford truck, but somehow I give the promise of having a V8 engine.
Good old Ted Heath, eh?
I think it's probably actually Joe, isn't it? Because he...
Joe Bugner?
Yeah.
No, you're wrong. Who was it? Tim?
Oliver Reed.
Oliver Reed, you're right. It was Oliver Reed. Yes. And your own question. Another voice?
I think if I hadn't got into this, I would almost certainly have stayed in the Navy.
Prince Philip?
Thought you were going to say Margaret Thatcher. You're absolutely right. It was the Duke of Edinburgh. Indeed.
Well done,
So, who's first? Who's last? Who cares? They do. Jim's got 8. Tim's got 6. Simon's in the lead with 9. And we call this Anything Goes. A little bit of fun looking at 1971, the year in which the Generation Game started, so we thought we'd take some of the sights, sounds, fashions and fads and whatever and put them together in a typical Generation Game way.
And on the conveyor belts tonight, we have a box of Female Energy Oz to find out those difficult stains. The 4-gear Hillman Avenger, complete with genuine plastic trim. Show how wacky you can be with the latest craze, a pair of clackers. You shall have music wherever you go with this portable music machine, the Stylophone. Yes, it's out of this world. It's Apollo 14. A speedy Rally 20 bike with extra comfort saddle. A cuddly toy.
Yes, the old clackers with the... Well, you've got your own sets there.
Yeah.
If you just, there are extra points available for those who are prepared to make fools of themselves with the clackers, the big rage of 71.
Hey,
Look, Tim.
What were you doing in your cradle?
What
did they work?
Jim, that is pathetic.
Okay, let's see you.
All right. Well, the other thing that was big, very big in 71 was the Stylophone.
Yes.
And they've got those as well.
Yes, we have.
Goodie!
So, if you'd like just to get us going on the Stylophone, please.
This is before Rolf Harris realised it wasn't a pet.
Hey, do you know what they use these for now?
Go on.
Recognise this at all? Look. You said bacon, our survey said... Yeah, sorry. You've got to turn it on again.
Mine was a switch. Here we are. Oh, dear. Maybe it's just a personal opinion, but I've always felt that the Stylophone is a very underrated instrument. My idea of bliss would be to see an entire Stylophone orchestra. Stylophone.
Did you know, right, if you write your name across it, like this, look, that's his signature tune.
Pretty good moment to come to true or false, and I'll just... Jim, look at this story. Is this true?
Baby Lee Gold never needs a dummy to keep him happy. Instead, he settles for a glowing pipeful of baccy. He has one every night to help him sleep, Mr. Alan Galt said.
He started sucking an empty pipe instead of a dummy. Then he picked up my own pipe and began puffing away. I don't think it does him any harm. It's better than eating sweets anyway.
That's absolute, it's rubbish. I mean, nowhere could a baby smoke a pipe. Cigarette, yes, but not a pipe.
False. You needed that point, and it was true. Simon?
Yes.
True or false?
Shirts are sexy, and that's official. Men speak the language of love by the way they wear their shirts. If a man rolls up his sleeves, he's saying to his woman, I've got the arms, let's get on with the action. If he leaves one button undone, it's a warning that he's getting hot under the collar. 2 buttons, and he'd better run fast. But a guy who undoes all the buttons is just an exhibitionist and is no real threat. Most girls agree that buttons left undone turn them on, especially if there's a medallion on the bare space.
That's all rubbish, that.
Can't be true. You're saying it can't be true?
Yes, it can't be.
So do you mean that it's false?
It's false.
It's true. It's true.
It's repulsive.
No. This is repulsive. Tim, this is yours.
A Sussex man, Bob Harris, is importing a very unusual delicacy, the mealy grub. Much prized by Australian Aborigines who search for them in free routes and eat them raw. However, Bob recommends lightly frying them in olive oil. He serves them with a mixed green salad as a novel, nutritious starter.
Oh, dear. It might be true. Is that the one where it says on the can, best before butterfly? I don't think that's true, though.
You think that's
it's false? Yeah.
Can we go for a bonus?
Go on, then.
I think it's true.
Well, we'll take a point off you, because he's right. We had a mystery guest, and I think the way in which she was actually reading some of the things might have thrown you in it was in the picture round. Can you identify this week's voice?
I think it was June Whitfield.
You think it was June Whitfield? No.
Oliver Reed. No,
Ira Sinclair. No, it wasn't Ira Sinclair.
Give us another clue. Go on.
Yes, very good.
Well,
Anthea Redfern. Anthea, would you please give us a 12, please? I'm not sure we're interested now. No, we better have a final score and see what's been going on. Well, Jim's got a measly 8, Simon's got 10, but the chap who was 4 in 1971 has won with 11. Tim Bowen. Well, thanks to Jim and to Simon and to Tim, and that was 1971. Further news, Chinese formation dancers still haven't got the hang of the Blue Danube. After further demands for equality, a woman finally gets a job on a building site. And from 1971, we leave you with a chap who got his cocoa 3 times every week. Good night.
They called him Ernie. And he drove the fastest milk cart in the West. She said she'd like the baby milk. He said, all right, sweetheart. And when he'd finished work one night, he loaded up the cart. He said you want it pasteurised, because pasteurised is best. She says, Ernie, I'll be happy if it comes up to me chest. But that tickled old Ernie. And he drove the fastest milk cart in the West.
Well, I do apologise. Seem to be having a little technical problem at the moment. We'll try and restore things as soon as we can. But let me just tell you what's coming up tomorrow night here on BBC One. At 6:10, Leslie Nielsen will be the guest star in Due South, returning as Mountie Buck Frobisher. And he finds himself hostage aboard a train with both Fraser and Vecchio. Fitness guru Rosemary Conley is well and truly gotcha'd at Noel's house party at 6:55. And then at 7:50, Dale Winton does the business at the National Lottery Live. 5 with little help from Mark Owen and Roy Hudd. Charlie finds himself under investigation at 8:05 in Casualty. And then following the day's news and sport, Peter Strauss and Heather Locklear will be starring in the concluding part of Texas Justice, which will be coming up, actually the first part, in about half an hour this evening. Liverpool play Aston Villa in Match of the Day at 10:45. And then at 10 to midnight, there's an extra programme. You can see that interview with Tony Bullimore again, the great survivor. That's just part of Saturday night on BBC One. Back to Friday night now, and it's time for the main evening news with Peter Sissons.
Britain's first war crimes trial has collapsed after costing the taxpayer millions of pounds. The 86-year-old defendant, allegedly involved in the murder of 3,000 Jews, was judged medically unfit to face a trial. Fresh graves in Rwanda fuel fears that Hutu killers are now murdering the witnesses to their past crimes. And the Millennium Spectacular is back on course after Labour and the government settled the quarrel that threatened it.